Nexxlegacy.
All right, my good people, this is Nexxlegacy Radio. I am Brandon here with my beautiful guest. It's been a while since we've had dialogue. I want to say maybe it's been a couple of years, if not longer. But it's actually an honor and a privilege to catch up with this young lady, see what she's been up to, see what kind of new music is out there, see how her whole spectrum is really felt throughout the waves of radio, music, and more. So I have the beautiful Carolee here with me on Nexxlegacy Radio. What's going on, dear?
Well, hello. So I have been busy making a new album, and we have a couple of singles out there that we've dropped in the last few months. And one of them is called Orbit, and one of them at the moment is called Serendipity.
I love it. I love it. I had a chance to listen in on the new music, obviously, and I mean, you keep impressing me every time that I hear your stuff. I mean, obviously, your music is on rotation on Nexxlegacy Radio, but I needed to have you back on because I just wanted to thank you for still pushing your grind and doing what you're doing, and you sound just as great as when we first interviewed way back when. And I'm just impressed with just the staying power that you do have, and just be real organic with how your sound is. And I just wanted to tell you thank you. And my question to you is, to start it all off, is what keeps you going?
You're going to laugh, but, you know, when you really love a passion and you say to yourself, oh gosh, should I keep doing this? Should I not keep doing this? But then you say to yourself, wait a minute, what else am I doing? Of course I'm going to still keep doing this. I mean, for all the dreamers out there, ask yourself, if you ever doubt yourself if you should be doing your dream or not, what else are you doing that's more important?
Hey, listen, I love how you said that and put that into perspective, because there are so many people who tap out. They're like, you know what, it's too much for me. Or, you know, they're expecting 20 million people to listen to their single, and they're not satisfied with just having 2 or 200 or 2,000 or whatever the case may be. But there is staying power with what you do and how you do it. And it's a gift that you're giving to us. It's, you know, and as consumers, we should appreciate that a lot more, right?
A lot more than what?
Just a lot more, just period. Just the way that you are, how you move, the effort that you make, the time. A lot of people can listen to a 2, 3, 4-minute song, not knowing that there's days of work that comes with it, months of work in some cases, right? So I feel like as consumers, we need to birth that and appreciate that and honor that a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's so kind of you to say, because, yeah, it takes a tremendous amount of work. But, you know, I also bet that whatever the consumers are doing in their life, they're working really hard too. Right. And I mean, I think everything that we're all doing out there is a lot of work, but it is very, very kind of you to acknowledge the work of an artist.
Well, to me, I think it should be raised up there in higher standards, because there is an effort and there is a process, and you do want those 200 million people to listen, but sometimes it's going to take the 2, the 200, the 2,000, the 200,000 to really absorb it. And it's not just about catching fire, but it's just creating an organic experience that other people can be able to just kind of witness and tag along for the ride. You know what I'm saying? Because music is a journey. There is a lot of peaks and valleys, ups and downs too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think what makes it worthwhile for me, and not to judge myself how many people are listening, is that I love to tell a story, or how I feel about something, or how someone moved me, and then I just like to express that in a song.
Mhm.
Like my current single, Serendipity, for example. A lot of people have interviewed me about that song, but I haven't really. It's so interesting what some people think it's about, and as the writer, it was really about something different. But I love. It's just like looking at a painting. You know, when you stand back from a painting in a museum, you're like, oh, I see this, I see this. But maybe the painter really had something completely different altogether in mind when they painted it. And so it's very amusing to hear what people come up with, you know?
Oh, yeah. Just from what they see or hear, not see, but, you know, well, in some cases with the videos, right, see and hear as far as their perspective, as far as how a sound should be visualized, I guess, to a degree. Carolee is my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, and with 2 singles, you know, and an album on the horizon, talk a little bit more about just the album that you have that you're working on, and give us a little story behind that.
Sure. Well, I recorded it down in Nashville earlier this past fall. And as you know, there's a tremendous amount of work that follows that with mastering and videos and all kinds of last-minute changes. But as far as the themes that I chose to release, Orbit is about a very close friend of mine. I would say I look at her as a very empowered woman. And, you know, every time we've gotten together, she's just so filled with wisdom and intelligence and has just this great sense of humor. And the song really revolves around kind of wanting to live in her orbit. Because she's so inspiring, and, you know, it's such an honor to be friends with her. So that is my song, Orbit. And my song, Serendipity, is, it's really about looking at some realms of nature, like the sun, the moon, and the rain, and associating each level of the earth with the sun. Speaking of how, you know, when we fall in love, it just feels so magical. We're not even ourselves. We don't know where we are. We're just floating above. But then sometimes when you think a relationship is like the sun, and then you wake up one day and you're like, this isn't like the sun. This is more like dark. This is something that you get swept. Sometimes in a relationship we get codependent and we get swept up into it. And this song is about starting off really being infatuated, falling in love, and then finding the strength within yourself to not be that needy, dependent person, kind of like the moon, and just having your own light and not depending on anyone else to rescue you. And then finally, the rain is just acknowledging, you know, like the rain just waters the earth. And that nurturing, I sort of valued it like the earth, your life can put you through a lot. And it can really hurt at certain times, really, really bad. But if you can wake up from that and learn your lessons and dust yourself off and keep on walking, well, you know, you got to pat yourself on the back and say, I made it through that one, and now I'm all the much stronger for it. And I learned some lessons, you know? I mean, what else is there, right?
That's our life in perspective right there, is just learning lessons. I don't think we're ever going to reach a point in our time and our livelihood where we're going to be like, all right, I'm perfect. I got this. Everything that's going to come our way, I can handle it with no problems, no reservations. We'll never say that in life for this reason, because we're still learning as you grow, right? You don't have to be a certain age to stop growing. And I think a lot of people lose that. Exactly. And a lot of people lose that curb and just trying to not just figure out oneself, but still falling into the trap of, you mentioned something about codependency sometimes in relationships, and we can fall prey to that easily just based on, you know, giving nature and who you are and how you want to be needed and wanted and everything else that comes with it, and how that's reciprocated as well, that kind of plays into just how things are. And what you say when you talk about your songs, your singles, is intriguing to me, because to add a lot of depth that comes with how you talk about the origin story of your songs is fascinating, because we don't hear it for a lot, in some cases, for one. And for two, it's just a great starting block to how people literally should embrace songs. Like, they want to hear from you, Carolee, because you know what? I need to know more about that song. I mean, everybody does that now, documentaries and, different things like that. But as you're going through these songs being made, people should really pay attention to not just how you sing, but what you say, right?
I hope so, because, just for me personally, I want so much to elevate people, to share with them, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what I went through. Did you go through that ever? And this is how I got through it. And how did you get through it? I'm trying to have a conversation with my audience,
Mm-hmm.
Never.
And what that does,
that I know more than they do ever.
Yeah, well, you know what, Carolee, what that does is create, a vulnerability that I feel artists, it's okay to have as an artist. It's fine. If you have a connection with your audience based on a specific song, it's definitely genuine for this reason. We don't get it often. We don't hear the vulnerability of a lot of artists when they display their raw emotions about said song and things like that. Not just in singing and how you're putting it out, but also how you're articulating your work of art. And this is how this canvas was brushed and stroked, and it needed this color, and this is the reason why I had to go here, and I was in an emotional place when I felt like this needed to go here, and different things like that. You see how it all intertwines, Carolee, that painting and music and how it's put together is fairly the same.
Definitely. It's absolutely true. I feel as a songwriter that it's really interesting. I feel a lot of times I'm underwater, and then you know how like comfortable it is when you're in the ocean or in a pool, and then you lay on your back and you're just floating and you close your eyes. But this is like I'm doing that, but I'm just under the surface of the water, and so it feels very safe, and it feels very protected. So that allows me that sort of feeling with the water over me, like that gives me permission to just have the courage to be open.
And that in itself is creating good musical content and good stories and good journeys that can be displayed for the people. Carolee Rainey is my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, and with singles, with albums, obviously there's a lot on your plate as well. How is the circuit as far as performing in different venues? Is that still a thing? Are you pretty active at that as well?
Well, that's just right now. I've been taking a lot of time in the recording studio, and I'm done with all of that, and I'm just starting to get out there and perform. So that starts happening next month. And
nice.
Yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing at the moment.
That's nice. Get these singles out. That's available now, people. Make sure the album, when it comes out, people go support it. But I can't wait to see you perform wherever you're going to be, because I just want to see that energy radiate through. Because I look at performing a lot different. I kind of see it as the music's obviously great. I just want to see that connection made, right? How you perform and and how you can be able to relate to the audience. So a lot of what you talked about just now is really what brings home to me what good music should be, but also what a good artist should be as well, in terms of that connection that you want to make with your folks, not just your fan base, but consumers, fans of music, people out there who really and truly need and crave good musical content in their lives. And I think it's super dope that you could be able to have that presented as such. So with performing on the horizon soon, how's the social media life right now for you right now, in terms of just a lot of listeners who've captured you? What are some of the comments people are putting out there for you?
Well, people are very much enjoying the songs. The two that I have out now, Orbit and Serendipity, but I have a lot of songs out on YouTube and on Spotify and Amazon Music and iTunes, so people can really easily find me. But I think I know for myself, depending on the mood I'm in or what I'm really needing to hear, an artist can so move me and just lift me up and get me through the day. And I think that every artist wants to do that for their audience. And it doesn't have to be anything really serious or heavy. I mean, sometimes it's so much fun just to be light and happy and, wake up with, a cup of coffee and have that little piece of rhythm in yourself. Just you want to face your day. Absolutely.
No, it's great to hear the energy coming from you, because I know this is a passion of yours. This is super important to you, and it's great to be able to get all that and put it into perspective. So Carolee Rainey's my guest, Nexxlegacy Radio, and in closing, social media, anything that you want to shout out, website. I still feel like website is a direct. People need to go there, not just your social media. People need to go check out websites. Everything, YouTube, everything. So by all means, go ahead and put that out there for the people.
Yeah, my across the board, you might say my address is Carolee Rainey Tunes. That's my Instagram, Facebook, website, CaroleeRaineyTunes.com, and sign up for my newsletter. Please subscribe to me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love that. And I just want to say thank you so much for being so supportive of the artists, because you ask really deep questions, and I think it's really beautiful for you to reach out to the artists and connect them to the audience in a way that we don't often get to do. And this is the very thing that keeps artistry alive, our interviewers like yourself. So I just want to say how grateful I am.
I appreciate you, because, listen, I have no scripts. I have an idea of what I'm going to ask you, but I just go off your energy, right? So I think it's important if you say it's deep, it's because you help pay that way. You bring that out of me. And I think a connection with a journalist or a media person, whatever you want to call him or her, should be as such. Like, I need that connection. So I'm going to ask you certain things that's not, it may not be the norm, but it's also still supporting you. But also I need people out there to really understand your journey, because it is hard work. It is time in the studio to be able to create something, ideas. You got your energy all over the place, and you're just trying to make sure you get the best product you can out there for the people. And I just think people need to go out and support it. So all the social media stuff Carolee has put out there, do it times 10. And I need you guys and girls to go share and spread the work of this young lady out there to the stratosphere, so this woman can continue to grow, and keep her out there, keep her back in the studio putting out more music. That's just really the mission. That is.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you. I want to thank you not just for keeping tabs. It's like I said, we interviewed maybe like 3-4 years ago, but it's good to have you back. It's good to have you still putting out music at a high level. It's good to get this energy. It inspires me, and I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of other people out there. And you've got a rotation here on this station that is 24/7. So your music is definitely loved here in all parts of the globe. So we love you, Carolee.
Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you.
You are more than welcome. More than welcome.
Nexxlegacy